A villager discovered a completely unexplored world in a crevice in the earth. What is it about the mystical cave world that leads directly into the heart of a lost civilization? What do we know about the mysterious inhabitants? And what does an ordinary life jacket have to do with the most spectacular discovery of all time? Hit the like and subscribe buttons and join us to find out. A puzzling find. A suburb of the Russian city of Solnitsynogorsk in 2003, as Vladimir Sechenko, the driver of the local village administration, casts his gaze over the gentle waves of Lake Bezonia, a strange detail suddenly catches his eye. One courageous grab into the water later, it was clear Vladimir had just discovered a U.S. Navy life jacket that apparently belonged to a certain Sam Bolowski. Subsequent research revealed that on October 12, 2000, Sam had been aboard the USS Cole, a destroyer that had been blown up by terrorists in the harbor of the city of Aden, Yemen. The attack killed 17 U.S. Marines. Sam Bolowski was among those whose bodies were never found. But how is it actually possible for a life jacket to get from the Indian Ocean to a lake located in the gigantic expanses of central Russia? What path had the object taken on its 4,000-kilometer journey? Against the background of these unanswered questions, the suspicion soon arose that extensive tunnels must exist underground, connecting the individual continents over immense distances. But by whom were these secret paths created, and why? Hidden paths. Various researchers have pointed out that in addition to the subway tunnels, bunkers and mines that we are familiar with, as well as the natural cavities, there are several other structures subway. What makes them special? Supposedly, these tunnel systems were created by a lost civilization that flourished long before mankind. Besides the straight connecting paths, the mysterious inhabitants would have created colossal halls, which were created with the help of technologies that are completely unknown to us. Therefore, the central question, which at first seems so far-fetched, is: did an advanced civilization once exist in the underground? Do all the stories about the grotesque creatures that slumber right under our feet possess a kernel of truth in the end? Well, some people answer this question with a resounding yes. But how can they know this at all? Well, if one follows the statements of just those people, then this is because they have met the inhabitants of the deep personally. Controversial reports. Among them was the journalist and writer Richard Shaver. In 1946, he started a heated debate when he claimed to have seen the creatures of the underground with his own eyes. But that's not all. He allegedly spent several weeks imprisoned in a secret world where he found himself in the company of countless demon-like creatures. Okay, admit it. At the first moment, one might be inclined to label the journalist as crazy and attest him with a somewhat over-flourishing imagination. All the more surprising, therefore, is the fact that hundreds of readers came forward after the story broke and told of having experienced very similar incidents. If you think it can't get any more twisted, then pay attention now. The creatures are not only capable of communicating with us from the shadows, but also of seizing control of our consciousness. Incredible discoveries. Based on the eyewitness accounts, a comprehensive map of the underground world was created over time. The records are based primarily on the information of those who personally explored the mystical caves and tunnels. The Argentinian researcher Juan Mortiz is one of those people who are the subject of controversial discussions. According to him, in June 1965, he discovered something in the Ecuadorian province of Morona Santiago that shook our common view of history to its foundations. In a hidden area stretching for hundreds of kilometers, he discovered complex networks of tunnels, halls, and ventilation shafts. At first glance, the entrance to the tunnel system would look like an ordinary fissure in the earth. Upon closer inspection, however, the portal presents itself as an equally precise and clean incision in the rock, apparently created by the use of futuristic laser technology. Crisscrossed by straight, smooth, polished walls, the rectangularly carved tunnels are said to slumber at a depth of 230 meters and house some of the strangest artifacts of all time. Thus, in one of the rooms, we find a table-like structure framed by 7 thrones. These objects are made of an unknown material that most closely resembles plastic. In addition, The throne room also houses countless figures of various animals cast in gold, including elephants, crocodiles, and camels. Furthermore, Juan Mortiz also came across a treasure trove of knowledge of unimaginable proportions here, a kind of library comprising thousands of embossed metal plates. While each of these plates is adorned with individual stampings, the explorer also discovered a stone amulet depicting a man standing on the globe. No less enigmatic presented themselves some other decorations. On the walls were carved images of dinosaurs. Against this background, the alternative researchers believe that the works of art look deeply into the period of origin of the subterranean plant. It must have originated, therefore, already millions of years ago. But also, the ancient Egyptians seem to have been influenced in some way by the underground people. Thus, Juan Mortiz saw on some library plates representations of pyramids, which are next to the flying sky snakes. Hidden copper mines. In a similar vein is the news that made the rounds in Chile 7 years later. Back then, in November 1972, the Chilean government had asked for help of the Soviet mining experts to convert old ore mines for copper mining. So it was that Nikolai Popov and Efim Chabarin began clearing the blocked entrance to a mine located 40 kilometers from the town of Chihuahua. The two men then went several meters into the audit and came across a passage that led them down at an angle of 10 degrees. At a diameter of 1.5 meters, the path had a strange undulating surface. At 80 meters, the path turned horizontal and led to a large mine that was, or had been, rich in copper veins. For by all appearances, the material had been mined long ago, using a high-tech method that left the surrounding rock intact and produced no debris. A short distance behind, the experts spotted a gigantic collection of large copper ingots and a 5-meter-long machine that looked like a snake. This and similar but somewhat smaller structures were incessantly engaged in the task of literally sucking the copper out of the walls of the tunnel. But what did the inhabitants of the underground need the metal for in such rough quantities? Well, in the relevant circles, the answer to this question has long been known. They need it for the construction and the maintenance of their spaceships. Thus, the supporters of the corresponding theory are sure that the roots of the secret civilization lie in the gigantic widths of the universe, and that they came on board UFOs on the Earth, which consist of 90% of copper. More evidence? Like every other landmass on Earth, Southeast Asia is said to hide an extensive network of tunnels. Where the mystical legend merges with reality, some people suspect the location of the real Shambhala. According to Tibetan Buddhism, this is a legendary kingdom that slumbers somewhere in Asia and preserves the teaching of the faith. Applied to the tunnel theory, Shambhala would be located in Tibet, where it can be reached via underground passages. The chosen few who were allowed to enter the realm would have been in a state of samadhi there for hundreds of thousands of years. This means that they have attained a state of consciousness that goes beyond waking and dreaming. They are fully absorbed in their meditation. The Chinese province of Hunan also regularly comes into focus when the question of hidden underworlds is raised. Southwest of the city of Wuhan, on the southern shore of Lake Dongting, archaeologists are said to have come across an underground passage next to a pyramid. And in this case too, since the stone walls were remarkably smooth and carefully carved, a natural origin was considered impossible. As the explorers passed through one of the many symmetrically laid out tunnels, they soon found themselves in a large underground hall adorned with many drawings. One illustration depicts a hunting scene, and above it are enthroned strange creatures in a round ship reminiscent of a classic UFO. While the humans on the ground try to rush after the monster with their primitive spears, the celestial creatures point their futuristic weapons at the target. Another structure consisted of 10 spheres equally spaced, interpreted as representations of the solar system. The third and fourth spheres read the Earth and Mars were connected by a looping line. This would indicate that the two celestial bodies are in a direct relationship with each other. The age of the nearby pyramids has been dated by some scientists at 45,000 years. So folks, and now it's your turn. What is going through your minds in the light of the controversial tunnel discoveries? Is it possible that a hidden world lurks beneath our feet, throwing everything we think we know into absolute chaos? Give your thoughts free rein and write them down in the comments below. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and a subscription so you'll never miss one of our videos again. Want to learn more about the most mysterious finds of all time? Then take a look at the other exciting posts on our channel that we've linked here in the credits for you. And with that, thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time.